now from the IBA at Winchester, engineering announcements for the radio and television trade.
Hello, and welcome to the IBA's weekly announcements for the radio and television trade. Today, radio. Pat Hawker and Paul Copel look at the changing shape of the VHF band in the years to come. In television transmitter news, more existing relays are equipped for Channel 4. And details of 4 new relays, in the Borders, Bonchester Bridge, and in Wales, Cefn Mawr, Corris and Llangubbi. But first, radio. On Oracle, page 590 on Channel 4, you can find a list of VHF ILR stations that are going to move frequencies over the next few months. But why the need for change? Pat Hawker.
Well, yes, this is all part of this international agreement that was made last year at Geneva, the Geneva Plan 1984, which does require quite a few changes to be made to our local radio frequencies and also to BBC local radio frequencies to bring into this new idea of sub-bands for local radio.
Now, what's the point of this, Pat? Is this to allow community radio to develop?
Well, not particularly. I mean, the whole point of it was that we got these extra frequencies, 100 to 108 eventually, and it was decided that they needed to be planned as they have to be on a European scale. And so the opportunity was taken to sort of rationalise the whole business of having national channels and local radio channels. In other words, you would have all of a national channel within a particular sub-band, and similarly for local radio, they produced 2 sub-bands, and the idea is that all local radio will be in those 2 sub-bands.
Now, how many independent radio stations will have to move their VHF frequency?
I believe that in total it's about half of ours, but some of those will be quite small changes if they're already in the sub-band, and possibly only about 100 kilohertz in many cases. But you've got to remember that once you start changing a frequency in one situation, it has a knock-on effect, so that sometimes, even when they're in the existing sub-band, you will find that they will have to change for that reason.
To look at the downside of this for a minute, Pat, surely this is going to create a lot of extra costs for the stations in terms of promotional material and promoting their new frequency in the area, and also, of course, the public are going to be utterly confused.
Well, you always get these problems. You remember when the BBC changed the number of their medium wave stations. They had to have a lot of publicity on it, and there was some confusion. Nobody likes changing frequencies, broadcasters and regulators certainly not, but the advantages of having this new agreement and this extended band up to 108 seem to be too good an opportunity to be missed out.
The advantage being that virtually all the independent radio stations will be together, you mean?
You will normally always find an independent local radio station in one of 2 sub-bands, although in some cases you will find local radio ILR stations in amongst the BBC local radio, but that will be very rare, and generally speaking you will have this grouping and rationalisation of frequencies. So that is a major advantage. There is opportunity being taken to have space for community radio stations and for the up to 5 national channels for this country. So far there's only been 3 VHF national channels, so that's a very big advantage.
Pat Hawker there talking with Paul Copel. And a number of community radio stations could be on the air early next year. The Home Secretary, Mr. Liam Mustapha, recently announced a 2-year experiment. There are some 20 possible locations with licences to be issued by the Home Office. During the experimental period, the government itself is to be directly responsible for monitoring and regulating both editorial content and technical standards, rather than delegating these to a broadcasting authority. A guidance note on community radio has been issued by the Home Office. Copies can be obtained by writing to the Broadcasting Department, Home Office, 50 Queen Anne's Gate, London, Southwest 1H 9AT. Alternatively, you can telephone 01 213 3559. The closing date for applications is the 30th of September, and the Home Secretary expects to announce the successful applicants in December. Television transmitter news next, and today sees the start of aerial maintenance at Crystal Palace. From today until Friday, and again next Sunday and Monday, transmissions will be on reduced power until 5 o'clock. This is while the aerial panels are replaced some 700 feet above ground level. Today, Thursday and Sunday, Channel 4 from Crystal Palace is liable to be off the air until about half an hour before programmes begin. Progress depends on the weather, and there's a special Oracle page on ITV in the London area on 390 with the latest details. In Devon, aerial work at Stockland Hill is nearly complete, but one morning's interruptions to transmission is likely this week, after which we hope to be back on full power. In Somerset, Portishead is off this morning between 9:30 and 10:30 because of work by the Electricity Board. For the same reason, Redcliffe Bay will be off between 9:30 and 10:30 tomorrow. In Derbyshire, Ladder Hill is due to be off the air today until midday for an aerial overhaul. This also affects the relay at Chinley. In Cornwall, the main station at Redruth is expected to be off this morning until 10:30 to allow mast lights to be changed. In South Wales, Brecon is due to be off this morning until about 11 o'clock for aerial maintenance. And tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, it's off until midday. In Wales, S4C from the main station at Blaenplwy is expected to be off this morning until 10 because of maintenance work. On the Wirral, Storeton is off the air this morning until 9:30 and tomorrow between 2:30 and 3:30. This is because of work by the Electricity Board. In Suffolk, the main station at Sudbury is due to be off tomorrow morning until 9 o'clock, and on Wednesday, Thursday and Friday until 10. This is for mast painting. Tomorrow morning in North Yorkshire, Hayshaw will be off between 9:30 and midday. This is in preparation for Channel 4, due here in October. In Scotland, Tay Bridge will be off tomorrow until midday for aerial maintenance. And in Derbyshire on Thursday, Buxton will be off until midday, also for aerial maintenance. New relays next, starting in Wales near Lampeter, where Llangubbi is due to come on air later this week. This would extend coverage to about 275 people in Llangubbi itself and in the immediate vicinity. Viewers in the service area receiving weak signals from Blaenplwy are recommended to change over to the new relay. The channel for HTV Wales and TVAM is 25, with S4C on 32. Group A aerials will be needed vertically polarised. Llangubbi is due on air this week. Also expected this week in mid-Wales near Machynlleth, Corris. The relay is designed to serve about 500 people in Corris and Esgair Giliog. HTV Wales and TVAM will be on channel 49 and S4C on 42. Group B aerials should be used vertically polarised. That's Corris due on air towards the end of the week. In the Borders near Howick, Bonchester Bridge, also due this week. The station is designed to cover about 230 people in Hobkirk and Bonchester Bridge. Border Television and TVAM will be on channel 49 with channel 4 on 42. The aerial group is B and vertically polarised. That's Bonchester Bridge due on air in a few days' time. In North Wales, Cefn Mawr is now expected to be on the air towards the end of August. Channel 4 next, and on the Isle of Skye, Scrieig is now on the air. The channel is 31 and the station covers a population of 3,000. Due later this week, 3 of Scrieig's dependent relays, Tarbet on Harris on channel 52, Ardentoul channel 42, and Ewig channel 50. Also this week, the King's Western Hill relay in Bristol, serving a population of 22,000. The channel is 52. In Northern Ireland, Gortna-Lee, channel 31, and Bushmills, channel 47, are also due on air in a few days' time. And expected next week in Scotland, Pennycuick. The channel here is 54. Well, that's all for this week. If you have any reception queries, do contact us. Our address, Engineering Information Service, Independent Broadcasting Authority, Crawley Court, Winchester, Hampshire, SO21 2QA. The telephone number is Winchester, that's STD code 0962 822444. If it's cheaper, you can dial our London number, that's 01 584 7011, and ask to be put through to Engineering Information. Or join us again next Tuesday, either at 9:15 or 12:15. So from me, from Janet Smythe, goodbye until next week.